Hello and welcome to another edition of Gourmet in the Making. This quick video recipe is macaroni and cheese pure indulgence. We begin by rendering down approximately 1 pound of bacon. Now make sure the bacon gets nice and crispy. You want a little bit of a toothsome crunch to it so that when you add it back into the cheese cream sauce, it holds up during the process. Additional proteins to this mac and cheese are going to be crab meat, lump style claw crab meat. As you can see on the label, it is wild caught, sustainably sourced. We're going to add a total of 2 8-ounce containers for a total of 16 ounces or 1 pound of whole lump crab meat. We're going to add to that approximately 2 pounds of surimi. If you want to try to make it a slightly less expensive indulgent mac and cheese, that surimi is a fully cooked fish protein, but does include wheat as part of the volume expander. So if you are gluten intolerant, please do not use this. In our bechamel, we're going to start with equal portions of butter and flour to create the roux. Once the flour has been properly cooked, so that it doesn't have the taste of raw flour, we're going to throw in approximately 4 cups or 1 large white onion that's been diced to about 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch in size. We're going to add into that approximately 7 ounces of green chilies, either whole or canned diced green chilies. Seeds are fine, a little bit of juice is fine. All of that will be combined with our cheese blend. So what you see going on here is a roux. We brought our butter up to a bubble, and then we added the equal quantity of flour to it, and now we're just stirring it in. We're waiting for this to darken up a little bit in color, to brown up just a little bit. We don't want it to burn, but we want it to give off a nice nutty flavor because the starches in the flours have been fully cooked. You can use regular white flour, or you can use potato flour. A roux is a roux is a roux. You just need a starch and a thickening agent that's been cooked and brightened up a little bit by cooking all the starches to a nice brown. We've thrown our onions into the roux, and you can see that that nice brown, golden brown color is not from browning the onions yet. That's actually the beautiful color that the roux finally picked up. We're going to kick this flavor storm up another notch here because we're going to add to it our black truffle salt. As we sweat those onions down a little bit in the roux, we're going to bring off some of the starches from the onions to add to the thickening as well, and that will add another layer of flavor to the entire bechamel cheese sauce. To our roux, we added 4 cups of half and half and 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. We're going to let all of this thicken up and get happy, and as it does so, we're going to take one of our pretty little bowls here, and we're going to add our green chilies to that. We're going to let those sit in the bechamel and cook with it. That way the green chili flavor is really infused into the bechamel before we start adding the cheese to it. Our bechamel is thickening up nicely, so at this point we temper in 2 eggs. They've already been tempered, and so we're just going to add that mix to the pot. That will help everything thicken up while it bakes. While our roux is finishing, we'll show you our cheese blend. We're going to use a blend of cheddar, mozzarella, and Monterey Jack. So we're starting with 8 ounces of Fiscalini Hopscotch Scotch Ale Cheddar. We're also going to add to that 8 ounces of Fiscalini Smoked Cheddar, as well as 8 ounces of Fiscalini Smoked Mozzarella Scamorza. Actually, I believe they call that Scamorza. Then we're also going to add approximately 8 ounces of Dubliner, imported from Ireland. Creamy, kind of like a cheddar, but a little bit milder in flavor. So we have that as well. And then finally, going to do about 1.5 pounds, about 24 ounces of Monterey Jack. So a total of a 5 cheese blend. Helps offset some of the sweetness from the crab as well as the white onions with a little bit of the sharpness from the cheese, but that 5 cheese blend will give a nice creamy consistency to our roux. So everything's been blended and placed into our half pans. As you can see, we had 2 full pans to place into the oven to bake at 325 for about 30 minutes. In addition to that, we had a little bit left over, so we've placed that into a Ziploc bag. The beauty of this is, before baking it, you can actually put it into a Ziploc bag, let it cool to room temperature, place it in the refrigerator overnight, then throw it in the freezer. and you can save that to bake another batch another day. We'll show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. So our mac and cheese is out of the oven. This is what it looks like. Nicely, slightly browned around the edges and on the top. And we're going to look forward to eating this, serving it up. Thank you for joining us here at Go Pound Salt. And remember, when you do, happiness is just a lick away.